Because it stayed cold after the snow, I noticed on my drive in this morning how beautiful it was to see sort of like the frost on the trees.
On the trees.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I was actually curious, was that freezing fog this morning? Because it was really only on tree surfaces and
I didn't
it wasn't
see
on
it.
the roads. It wasn't on the
I didn't see
Good
it.
point.
It could have been.
You missed out. It was beautiful.
I've seen a similar phenomenon that I can't quite figure out along rivers and streams sometimes, where there just is a coating of freezing rain essentially
Right there.
on just the trees near there, but it's too high to have been splashed over. So my theory, it has something to do with like it was snowing one time everywhere around it, but the river was just warm enough that it was freezing rain there.
In that spot.
There's no research on this, but I've seen it a few times on rivers and been like, I wonder why.
What's going on?
Cool.
If
Why
only
that
you were
is.
the science guy.
Yeah. I'm not a research scientist, okay?
Wow.
I'll go figure it out, and then you guys can fill me in for like 3 weeks while I try to figure it out. We'll just run a little ticker here. Here's what the weather is. All right, current temperatures in the mid-30s for the most part. A little bit above average, but it didn't really play that way because we were cloudy again. Had a few brighter spots in the cloud cover compared to yesterday, I guess, but overall, we just didn't really break much out. We've got some light snow going on right now in through northern Maine, and this is just a trough that extends down into Greenville here. And so we've got a couple of decent little shots of snow. Nothing all that serious, though, mostly on the light side, and it will tend to die down as it heads downhill. You can see a rain or snow shower into Augusta, into Bangor, into Bar Harbor, and then trying to see if we can get these downhill into the southern coastline. If we do, it will be very much on the light side. This model diminishes the precipitation before it gets to Portland and down to Portsmouth. A couple of rain and snow showers into Rockland and Bar Harbor, though. Bangor, too, could see a quick coating of snow. North of there is where we'll see some light accumulation overnight tonight and through early tomorrow morning. But tomorrow, actually, for all we were watching this storm on Friday, it turns out to be a pretty nice day overall. In fact, probably more sun than today in most spots, into the mid-30s by the afternoon. Isolated rain or snow shower, we're talking 10 or 15% chance. I do not think there are a lot of those around as our storm system is off to our east. A bit chilly tomorrow night, and then it's partly cloudy on Saturday, and the weekend looks quiet. There's not much going on through the weekend. So as far as snow goes for the rest of today into tomorrow, the 2 inches or so possible across northern Maine, an inch or so north of Bangor. South of Bangor, probably no accumulation, if anything, just a quick coating is possible there. Notice that low, high pressure builds in, and then it's kind of a yawn fest after that. Nothing really going on. We got a storm to our south, some storms to our north. The cold stays bottled up. We stay about average over the next week or so. There's really nothing too interesting. I was even looking out on the GFS American model, which is prone to giving us like storms that may not happen in the long range, and even it cannot be convinced to throw us a bone here as far as a major storm. This is all the way through late next week, and we're still just hanging out. So we'll keep an eye on as we get later on. Temperature trend, also boring. Mid-30s or so. That's all right. You know, it's quiet and it's seasonable, so it's not causing trouble in either direction. You know, we're not melting a bunch of snow, and we're not really. It doesn't cost. You know, it's not costing us much for heating. Which so far, knock on wood, we've had a pretty good heating degree day winter so far.
Good point.
As far as snow winter, El Nino years, see you from mid-February to mid-March. So that's usually when this.
So we'll enjoy the break now.
Yes, and I know people do not like March snow, but.
Well, it depends. It depends.
Yeah, yes.
It's the April that gets kind of like.
You're taking it too far now.
All right, Keith, thank you.